How you doing? This is Jared Abrams with Cinema5D, and I am here with the man himself, Vincent Laforet. Vincent, how are you?
I'm good, thanks Jared, good to meet you.
So you basically were one of the first people to start using these cameras for cinema use. You kind of started the DSLR revolution. Where do you see it going in the future?
I mean, that changes day by day. I've had my ups and downs with these cameras. I can't tell you how many prototypes I've worked on, how many times I've pulled my hair out of my skull, the day before the production, during production, things work, things don't work. And then I come to a show like this, and almost every single booth has HD DSLR rigs, whether it's Zeiss or Zacuto or Red Rock or, companies you don't even think would care, and they all have a HD DSLR or 2 or 3 of them at their booth. So just when you think, sometimes I think I'm crazy with the amount of stuff I put on these cameras, and then you come over here and you realize, no, you're not crazy. Or at least a lot of us are crazy, if so. Where a lot of people are really into this. It's amazing to see people here like Shane Hurlbut and Rodney Charters evangelizing this technology, because those guys are playing with the big toys, the Panavisions, etc. And they're saying, we don't want to play with that anymore. We want to play with the HD DSLRs. They're having a lot more fun, a lot more freedom. And I think it speaks volumes to have like this wide range of people conglomerating around this one technology.
You also have something going with Vimeo called The Story Behind the Still. Where did you come up with the concept for that?
It was pretty simple for me in that I got so much exposure, if you will, from Reverie, and I was invited to speak at so many places. I got go to ILM, to Disney, to DreamWorks, and I had very little experience in the film world, to be honest. When I started, Reverie was my first film ever, and the past year and a half has been a huge learning curve. And what I wanted to do was try and share some of that energy and excitement with people. And I went to Canon and said, can we start a contest? And they said sure, and it kind of evolved from a variety of ideas to being something where I started with a still image, interpreted it into a short 2 to 3 minute video piece, and ended on another still. And each chapter goes on and on like that. Still, video, still, and it's going to hopefully end up into what could be a pretty exciting 8-chapter film that was all done through the web, through online communities, and it's just kind of fascinating. And at the end of it, we're all going to shoot a film together, which is going to be, I don't know how we're going to figure that out, but we'll work it out.
Canon is working with Creatosphere to start some DSLR workshops all across the country.
Yeah.
Coming from the still photography world, what challenges do you see still photographers having using motion picture?
That's a good question. I've taught a lot of these courses myself, and the hardest part for me as an instructor is trying to gauge level of experience from the people participating. And the worst thing that can happen is to have a photographer who's never shot video in your class along with someone who owns a production company. And that's happened to me quite a few times. And trying to make both of them happy is impossible. And I'll find myself trying to teach weeks or months worth of material in 1 or 2 days. I had some students in Dubai told me one guy who was a TA who'd gone to film school, said he learned more in 1 week than he had in 3 years of film school with me. So I definitely try to pack in the amount of information. The biggest challenge for, I think, still photographers is understanding that cinematography, it's been a long day. Cinematography is not just about recording things that are moving in front of your camera. It's about the camera itself moving and learning how to tell a story by moving that camera. And in general, that visuals are super important, but it's still about the story always and the concept. And that gets lost, especially with all these gadgets, is you kind of tend to forget what it's all about, which is telling a good story and knowing how to do that.
What do you do? What are you working on now that we can look forward to seeing from you?
Well, I'm working on a variety of projects, and they're all under NDA because all the producers these days don't want you to talk about anything to anyone. So just keep an eye out on the blog. There's a few things I can talk about. You mentioned the Beyond the Still contest, which is on Vimeo, and you can just search for it. It's pretty cool. At the end of this month, I'm going to be doing a thing with Creative Live with Chase Jarvis. And we're going to be teaching, I'll be sharing everything I know about HD DSLR in 3 days for free online, which is pretty cool. Getting ready for that. That's going to be exciting. A bunch of projects, commercial, and perhaps more, narrative type pieces coming. But definitely trying to move into that realm.
So Vince, do you ever use Cinema5D to find out information about DSLRs?
I check it every day. I have a list of blogs and sites that I read for, I call it my little daily fix. And every day I check every single site, and it's definitely one of them. And either you or someone else is always breaking something. It's amazing how much stuff is coming out every day in this new realm.